Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be talking about the August 26th, 2018 full moon in Pisces and giving my take on it. Anyway, well, when we have a full moon in astrology, this could be a time when people can become very tired, exasperated, have simply had enough of something, become complete or full, so to speak, of something. Now, this could also be a very powerful unleashing and outpouring of very uninhibited, unrestrained emotional expression. Now, and being in Pisces, could be very intensified, very strong, all-encompassing emotions. Could be very emotions where people may be feeling strongly at this time. Could be very chaotic and convoluted as well, and running all emotions running rampant all over the place. There could also be a greater proclivity or propensity, I believe, for accidents at the time of this full moon, because emotions can be in full throttle and really at a peak level. Now, when you have a full moon in astrology, it could also represent the completion or culmination of something. It could be a time where many may go public with something. Now, going back to accidents, now, we might see a greater proliferation, a very strong proliferation of accidents at this time, especially in Pisces, given Pisces can be connected with drugs, intoxication, and alcohol, and you might find a number more people, a lot more so than average, to be driving under the influence at around this time. Now, you may see more of a loony-like behavior during a full moon. Now, everyone collectively may be impacted and influenced by a full moon, but how in this particular case, however, Pisces and the zodiac sign Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant people especially impacted stronger. And of course, Pisces, obviously, because the moon is going to be in their sign, and Cancer simply because they are strongly impacted by all phases and transits of the moon, given that it does rule and govern their sign. And perhaps this could at least be somewhat attributed as to why the zodiac sign Cancer can be so moody, fickle, and temperamental. Now, when you're talking, and especially in this transit is making a conjunction to one's Pisces or Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, this could really have a very intensified and very powerful impact on the person, I believe. Now, during this full moon, you're going to have, okay, the Sun in Virgo will be opposite the moon in Pisces, and many may be torn between wanting to really work industriously and feeling like relaxing and succumbing to indolence and lethargy and laziness. Now, because of this pull and this opposition and this adversarial energy, it could be that it could cause a lot of exasperation and agitation with others. What's interesting about the time of this full moon in Pisces, which of course you have the Sun in Virgo opposite of it, you see a lot of people maybe getting ready to come back from like their vacations and getting ready to go to work, getting prepared to go back to school, perhaps, and you're going to have a lot of that still, that lazy, that indolent Pisces-like energy. It's going to be a little bit harder, I think, than usual for people to go back to the workforce, because you're going to have this pull. You're going to have, I think, a very powerful emotional need for that indolence, for being lackadaisical, for just resting and relaxing, and it's going to be a very strong pull between that and wanting to go back to work. So anyway, now also at this time, I think many may become very exasperated, have had enough, become full of duplicitous, deceptive behavior by others. You might find a lot of people that will become tired of a confining prison-like situation. It could be figurative and or literal. It wouldn't surprise me if you have a lot more prison escapees during this time, because you have the moon in Pisces and being full, so that Pisces moon energy can be amplified and intensified strongly at this time. Now, Also, too, I see this as really where things that a lot of things that people may be doing that required much self-sacrifice, imagination, altruism, compassion may be completed at this time. There might be a lot of more people that might be going through more spiritual revelations. You might find a lot of people that might be somewhat ambivalent and torn between, maybe an existence of a higher power, of a God or a supreme being or what have you, and between the belief of that and not. Perhaps they might find more people becoming more that spiritually bound at this time, more so than usual. And also, too, you might, another positive with this is that you might find many addictions might be reaching an end, or people might becoming very strongly tired of certain addictions. I mean, it could be chemical in some cases, but it's not necessarily, I don't think, limited to that, because there can be a wide divergence of addictions. It could even be a relationship addiction, or say if it's a gambling addiction. Say if somebody, especially if they're having this transit full moon in Pisces in their 5th house in their natal chart, this could be a time where or maybe someone might become tired of one's, perhaps a gambling addiction, have simply had enough of it. Another thing too, how this could manifest is that this could be, I mean, when you're having a full moon, it could indicate a very active and busy period for people that are in professions and are doing things that are connected with the sign that the full moon is in. Now, this could be a much busier period than usual for poets, for dancers. It could be people in the metaphysical, which could include astrology, people that do paranormal work, those that help those that are less fortunate, such as the oppressed, the homeless, the impoverished, the hungry. It could be an exceptionally busier period for people that are in chemistry, oceanography, boating, people that are mediums, pharmaceutical work, those that are addiction counselors. It could be a very busy and active period for photographers, prison workers. I mean, if you have a lot of escapees, I guess it could be very busy, and it wouldn't surprise me, as I stated before, that you might have more escapees going on at this time than usual. And also in hospital workers as well, it could be a much busier time for those people. And people that work with feet and with toes, people that are in those professions might be a little bit busier than usual during this time. Now, the house that this falls in, of course, can be important, as well as this could impact the delineation and interpretation. Now, mine is going to fall in the 11th house, and this suggests for me possibly it could be a revelation or unveiling of a duplicitous or deceptive friend or acquaintance. It could be someone I know on social media at this time. Maybe this person becomes unveiled. It could be and anyone else that may be having this transit in that same house as I am. Could be about becoming, maybe where you might have been cognizant of some betrayal previously, but maybe you were unsure of the person, and this could be a time where that person might be revealed at this time, and you got a better than average chance, I think, of knowing who it could be at that particular time. And if it's something that you hadn't known about for some time, this could be that opportune time where that person becomes exposed, because Pisces, of course, can be associated with duplicitous, deceptive behavior and with betrayal. So also, it's important to look at the aspects this makes to points in your natal chart, as this could impact the interpretation as well. Now, mine, interestingly enough, the transit full moon in Pisces is going to make a very close conjunction to my natal north node in Pisces in the 11th house. Now, really, this revelation or unveiling, which I speculated on before for me that might happen, could be, which we indicated by the full moon in Pisces, could have a strong impact on my future and on my friendships as well. Perhaps it might give me, maybe it gives me some kind of guidance as to who I'm going to, maybe, for example, selection process in terms of making friendship selections, so to speak. And also too, and another thing, I think, I mean, this could manifest really for maybe some, maybe greater thing in terms of my future connected with astrology as well at this time, as far as a future aspiration. So I'm hoping this will be a very important time for me, and it impacts me hopefully in a more beneficial way as opposed to one that could be detrimental. But anyway, and going to the degrees, now this full moon is going to fall at 3 degrees Pisces. Now in Sabian symbols, this indicates perhaps very strong idealistic energy into doing something perhaps innovative or ingenious, but doing so with a lot of solitude and seclusion. And it's also important to look at the electional aspects at this time, as the full moon may very well intensify them. Now, we're going to have at this time of this full moon in Pisces, Jupiter in Scorpio will make a trine to Neptune in Pisces. Now, this suggests perhaps fortuitous energy connected with the occult, which could include astrology, could be about astrological beliefs, and which could be very fortuitous for that. And really perhaps people accepting them and incorporating spirituality with them as well. With the full moon in Pisces, this energy could be brought out publicly, perhaps through filmography, through videos such as YouTube, for example. And it could be very auspicious for doing so, and maybe people that were more spiritually bound and that were very intransigent in their belief systems, thinking that, well, astrology, I'm debunking astrology, I'm not going to believe it, this doesn't factor in to any possible activities on our mundane sphere, on our planet Earth, might be become a little bit more liberal in this thinking at this particular time, because you're also going to have the full moon in Pisces, which could give very strong, malleable, and adaptable energy at this time as well. And I think you might find where at this time you might find a lot more people that are willing to accept maybe a belief that might incorporate astrology, and it might also in spirituality as well. Now, and you might find more people accepting astrology as being veracious. Now, it's also important to look at the transits to your natal points in your chart, as these may be intensified by the full moon. Now, in my case, transit Mercury will make an applying conjunction to my natal Venus in Leo in the 4th house. Now, one way this may manifest, perhaps this could suggest perhaps communication, maybe of funds, might be somewhat extravagant for something housing, home related. An added bonus, I think, may be this transit full moon in Pisces conjunct my North Node in Pisces, which could be perhaps about full altruistic energy, maybe from friends to assist me with my future. Maybe it'd be a time to set up a fundraising thing, perhaps. But anyway, and as far as, and again, this could be also another thing I want to talk about is that looking at this, going back to the Mercury making that conjunction to my natal Venus, it could also be maybe communication for financial incentive, maybe perhaps, and again, going back to that North Node, the full moon in Pisces making the conjunction to my North Node Pisces, in that transit, maybe there's financial incentive to keep doing astrology, but I don't think I need that anyway, because I just have such unbridled passion and so enamored with this subject, with this field, that I really don't really think I need that. I think another way this might manifest for me as well is that this is going to be maybe about the North Node could be about where we're directed, and the fact that the moon, the transit full moon in Pisces is going to make a conjunction to my natal North Node in Pisces. I think this could also manifest in a way where about getting very strong, powerful emotional gratification connected with the metaphysical, which could include astrology. And I think this will be something that will reinforce as far as me and reaffirm that this is what I am meant to do and keep doing, I think, as well. And the fact that it's the full moon energy, this will be very amplified and intensified. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my take on the August 26, 2018 full moon in Pisces. Stay tuned next time, where I am going to be talking about, in my opinion, what I think is the most beautiful zodiac sign, and it's going to be about the combination, the total package of inner and outer beauty. Anyway, people, two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.